Padme's death is one of the remaining mysteries in Star Wars. There are many different theories, with one being the most popular option. The main theory is that Padme died because Anakin turned to the dark side. Or at least that's what it said in the movies. It said that she just lost the will to live. But I don't buy that, and I think that something else happened. I think that Palpatine killed her, and in this video I'll explain why and how that is. So without further ado, let's jump into it. First off, I'll debunk the main theory and why I don't think that's possible. For one, Padme had just given birth to 2 children, and she had a lot to live for. Of course she was heartbroken from Anakin's fall, yet she still knew there was good in him. She knew that he would be redeemed and turn back to the light. So inside of her, she still had a lot to live for, even though she was heartbroken and sad. She had her children to take care of, and I don't think she would have just died, as she still had to take care of them. She still had the will to live, to raise her children, and one day have Anakin brought back from the dark side. But now let's look at why Palpatine was the one to kill her. First off, she died out of nowhere, while still having a reason to live. She had no medical problems, and something odd just happened, and she died. If it wasn't for her will to live, it was Palpatine. The Sith Master always makes sure that their apprentice have no one else they love. They always have the people that they love die, so that they don't have the light side in them anymore, and pure anger and rage fills up inside of them. This is exactly what happened to Palpatine. His master, Darth Plagueis, put him into a position where he either be exposed or had to kill his family, and he chose the latter. That got him angry at Plagueis, but it worked well, and from that point on, he was truly a Sith Lord, and the evil man we know to this day. He wanted the same thing and the same pain to go through Anakin, so that he could let go and truly become Darth Vader, which he did. This is exactly what happened, and once Padme died, Anakin was buried so deep away that it seemed like he had died. So the question now becomes, how did Palpatine do this? And to that, I say that he manipulated the midi-chlorians and transferred them from Padme's body into Anakin's. The only small problem with this is that Palpatine didn't know exactly how to do it well, certainly not as much as Plagueis. You see, Palpatine lied to Anakin when he told him that his master taught him everything he knew. Plagueis was extremely smart, so he wasn't so dumb as to teach Palpatine this. He still wanted leverage over his apprentice and wanted a reason for the apprentice not to kill his master. However, Palpatine was still able to pick up a few things, so he knows the very basics of it. It was probably easier for him to do it, since Palpatine was already at a vulnerable point, since her heart was broken. She was weak at that moment, which gave Palpatine enough strength to take her midi-chlorians and transfer them to Anakin, which saved his life. Another reason I believe this is what happened is that there's no way Anakin survived on Mustafar and the trip all the way back to Coruscant. Anakin was fully burned, and there's no surviving that. It just makes no sense. I mean, I know that Star Wars has a way with how people die, just like with Darth Maul, but still, he was burned by lava for a good amount of time, and then he had to survive the whole trip back to Coruscant. By doing some basic math, that trip took 120 hours, or 5 days. This is because it took Anakin and Padme 15 hours to get from Tatooine to Geonosis, and that was about 1 parsec. The distance between Coruscant and Mustafar is about 8 parsecs, so 8 times 15 is 120. There's no way that Anakin could have survived all that without any help. Palpatine must have done the change of midi-chlorians during the trip, thus saving Anakin and killing Padme. The last reason I think that this theory is valid is the fact that Vader turned back into Anakin and killed Palpatine. Anakin was never truly gone. When Vader got the mask and the suit put on, that is when most people believe that Anakin died and Vader came to life. However, that is not entirely the case. There was always a bit of Anakin deep down, which came from his love for his wife and his children. It is inevitably what brought him back to the dark side. That little bit of Anakin could be from Padme's midi-chlorian and her life force. So in a way, Padme was in part the one to kill Palpatine. It was all the will of the Force for Padme to die and Anakin to survive, so that he could also die and rejoin his wife, and with that, bring down the Sith.
It's ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
And that is it for this theory. If you guys enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Comment down below your own thoughts and theories as to how you think Padme died. But apart from that, have a great day.